Hello, Heat family! Welcome to another exclusive analysis here on the channel. Stay tuned because today we're diving deep into a move that could change the future of our team. But we'll get to that in just a moment. In a surprising 5-team trade, the Miami Heat made a strategic adjustment that significantly increased its financial flexibility. By sending Jimmy Butler to Golden State and receiving 3 key pieces, the organization secured new opportunities, but also had to rethink its approach to reaching the maximum salary cap in the summer of 2026. With this trade, the Heat no longer has enough space to offer a max contract in the next offseason. However, there are ways to create that space, such as restructuring Andrew Wiggins' contract, which runs through 2026 to 27. This makes creativity the key to maintaining competitiveness. It's important to remember that only one player has signed a max contract this decade, Paul George with Philadelphia, who ended up disappointing the 76ers. Meanwhile, Kevin Durant, who was in trade discussions with the Heat and Suns before the February deadline, recently stated that he intends to become a free agent in 2026, even at 37 years old. As things stand, Miami wouldn't have enough cap space to sign Durant or any other elite player in 2026. However, if the Heat acquires a max player through trade within the next 12 months, they could exceed the cap using the valuable bird rights. With the Suns reportedly exploring a Durant trade this summer, Miami could benefit if the deal happens before next February. During the Butler negotiations, the team initially didn't want to take on significant salary cap commitments. However, the Warriors' offer, including Wiggins and a first-round pick, eventually convinced the front office, as they admire Wiggins' playing style and want to remain competitive. If Wiggins exercises his $30.2 million player option for the 2026-27 season, the Heat would have about $115 million committed to Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro, and Wiggins. Adding in team options for Jamie Jaquez Jr. $5.9 million, Kel'el Ware, $4.6 million, and Pal Larson, $2.3 million, that total could reach $128 million, with a projected cap of $171 million for that season. Even before accounting for a few million in first-round draft picks from either the Heat or the Warriors, the team would have about $43 million in cap space, or roughly $33 million when factoring in roster charges for empty spots. This number could shrink if Miami chooses to retain Nikola Jovic, who will be a restricted free agent, with the team having the right to match external offers by extending a $6.5 million qualifying offer. Hypothetically, if Jovic continues to develop and earns around $15 million per year in free agency, Miami's cap space would shrink to around $28 million, excluding cap holds and any draft picks from June 2026. All of this assumes that Miami moves on from Kyle Anderson, whose $9.6 million salary for 2026-27 is non-guaranteed. Cap space is less critical than it was a decade ago, as most top players sign extensions before reaching free agency. Among the biggest names potentially available in 2026, those who extend their contracts, such as Luka Doncic, now with the Lakers, De'Aaron Fox, Trae Young, who has a $49 million player option, and possibly Jaren Jackson Jr., Mikal Bridges, or Kobe White will be the most notable. Other extension-eligible players who could hit free agency in 2026 include Durant, Damian Lillard, who has a $63 million player option, Kristaps Porzingis, DeAndre Ayton, Anthony Simons, Zach LaVine, $49 million option, Fred VanVleet, Colin Sexton, CJ McCollum, LeBron James, and James Harden. Given this scenario, Miami would have difficulty signing any of these stars outright unless they trade Wiggins or, less likely, Adebayo or Herro, or if Wiggins opts out in 16 months. Even with only Adebayo, Herro, Wiggins, and Ware under contract, the Heat would still be just short of max salary space. Looking ahead to 2026, one potential downside of acquiring Wiggins is if a top star, such as Doncic, Jackson, or Young, unexpectedly bypasses an extension and enters free agency. In that case, Miami would need to find a trade partner willing to take on Wiggins' expiring contract to free up cap space for a superstar to pair with Adebayo and Harrow. Most stars now sign extensions and request trades later if they become unhappy. Beyond keeping an eye on Durant and Lillard, both of whom have previously expressed interest in Miami, the Heat should also monitor Trae Young's situation. TNT's Chris Haynes recently reported on X that Young's future in Atlanta is becoming unclear, adding that he wants to win and hinting that his situation may be addressed this offseason. Currently, the Heat and Hawks have similar records. Miami is not at risk of becoming a first or second apron team over the next 2 seasons, which could be advantageous in trade negotiations. The Heat could have up to 3 tradable first-round picks available in July, depending on when Golden State's owed pick conveys to Miami. That pick is top 10 protected in 2025 and 2026 and unprotected in 2027. Miami still owes first-round picks to OKC in 2025 or 2026, and Charlotte in 2027 or 2028. If Miami misses the playoffs this season, Charlotte would receive Miami's unprotected 2028 first-round pick from the Terry Rozier trade, and OKC would get Miami's unprotected 2026 first-round pick from the Butler trade with Philadelphia in 2019. And there you have it! What do you think about this breakdown? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to Miami Heat Family, turn on notifications, and drop a comment sharing your thoughts on these moves. See you next time!